Hi my friends, welcome to my channel, Anna Alchemist of the Arts here. In this reading we're going to be asking for signs, symbols and messages for your week ahead. We're going to be taking a look at the symbolism on the cards. There might be specific signs, something that resonates with you, something that catches your eye perhaps. I'm using a different type of card as one of the oracle cards. We'll just go through and see what comes through. As always, please only take what resonates. If a message just doesn't feel right for you, feels so completely far out from your situation, feel free to leave it. But we'll see, it'll be interesting. It is a collective reading, so there will be multiple messages, perhaps for different people. So not everything may fit for your situation. If you'd like a personal reading, those are available, and all of my official information is in the description box below, and you can click on the links to take you to all my official pages. Please, if anyone messages you asking you to send them money or wanting a reading, it will not be me. There are an awful lot of scammers and imposters out there impersonating all types of different accounts at the moment, so just do keep yourself safe. Okay, so without further ado, we have pile number 1, which is Tiger's Eye today. And this always gives me a really strong feeling of confidence, believing in yourself. Pile number 2, we have the Carnelian. Now, this always connects to passion, intensity, finding our inner fire, I like to think. And pile number 3, we have the Selenite today, which is very, very good for clearing energy. So as ever, take as long as you need. Feel free to pause the video. The timestamps will be listed below for each reading, and I will see you there. Hi there, pile number 1. If you were drawn to these cards, then this is your reading. As a reminder, this is a collective reading, so please only take what feels right and resonant for you. Personal readings are available if you would like one. All my information is below, and please be mindful of scammers. Okay, the Tiger's Eye. I got such a feeling of finding your power and finding your confidence when I chose this crystal today. I always choose them intuitively from the ones that I have around the cards, but that was the feeling that I got. So there's only 2 oracle cards today. We'll turn those over. One of them, we're going to be looking at the different symbols, messages and images held within the cards as much as what comes through intuitively. We'll do some tarot as well, so let's see what comes through. Now you had the church, the place of worship. Okay, so any kind of church, temple, place of worship. There's also an angel on the card. And then we have be bold and make the first move. Okay, this is really interesting. So definitely the be bold and make the first move connects with the Tiger's Eye in finding that personal power, that personal strength, of deciding to make some sort of move for yourself. Now, when we say make the first move, that can often be equated to personal relationships, into approaching somebody, into reaching out to somebody. However, this can be a first move for ourselves. This can be making some kind of decision, perhaps guided by some higher wisdom, some higher force in your mind, some kind of message or an inspiration, a calling to reconnect with a place of worship, with your roots, whatever kind of religion or belief in the entire universe that may be for you. I'm also getting just this sense of, I don't want to say the word righteousness because I don't particularly like it, but there is a sense of what is right for you and reconnecting with what is right for you and deciding to take some sort of action this week. So certainly in terms of symbols, the angel could be a symbol that comes through. There could be something connected to a place of worship. I'm getting there might be some sort of group. Oftentimes, groups and whether they're support groups, study groups, some kind of lesson, like a higher education of some kind, or just an informal group for learning. Often they can be held in places such as churches, such as church rooms, at least in United Kingdom, that's certainly the case. It's just that sort of a venue where they hold some kinds of groups where people get together. So I don't know whether that might be resonant as well. So I'm just deciding which tarot I want to use. I'm going to use the Radiant Wise Spirit Tarot. And we are looking at the week ahead, and I'll be publishing this on a Sunday. However, this reading can be timeless, and I firmly believe that these messages will stay there for whoever needs them whenever they find them. Okay. Messages, signs and symbols for pole one's week ahead, please. Interesting. Interesting because we've got this place of worship here, and then we have the Four of Wands in the reverse, and the Four of Wands connects quite similarly to these senses of higher celebration, of potentially marriages and things like that in places of worship. There could be some sort of, for some of you, this might just be for one or two of you, there could have been some question over, you know, a marriage, whether or not it was working, and then trying to find ways to resolve that. And this is saying it might be something that you need to initiate into making a move to make some kind of reparation. Perhaps there is some sort of support you can seek out. But we'll get more into that. Actually, I'm getting another message as well, that this could be something that you walked away from, not a marriage in this context I'm getting in this message specifically. Something that you could have walked away from, a path you could have walked away from, and something that's calling you back, or something that you feel like reconnecting with this week. We have the Two of Wands in the reverse, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, there could definitely be a call for patience here. The Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving knight in the deck. He also brings forth communication of some kind, a really grounded, honest, genuine message or offer of some kind. And it may be, you know, especially emphasized by the Seven of Pentacles. It could be slow progress, but the things that are worth building. You know, Pentacles to me relate to our foundation. They relate to what is, what everything is built upon, and how we build everything. And this feels like being really honest is the word coming through. Gentle and patient. There could have been a reluctancy here to make a decision, and it could have been a decision to end a marriage, or a decision to walk away from something that you may have already made in the past that now no longer feels right. But it's going to be slightly different for all of you as to what exactly this thing is. But it feels like a time of contemplation, a time when you're deciding to make progress, and you could be doubtful of the progress. For some of you, it could be deciding that you need to reach out and offer a kind of message, an apology of some kind. And the flowers, I'm being really drawn to the flowers and the foliage in all of these cards. As I said, but we'll look at the signs and symbolism of each of these cards as well. There could be, definitely could be a reluctance to move away from something, a reluctance for travel. But I feel like there is this, for some of you, there could be some sort of offer that involves travel, but there is, you know, like something holding you back, something you have built a foundation already that's holding you back from venturing forwards in a different direction, already committed to something. And I don't see that as a bad thing. For others of you, you could have been very patiently waiting for news of an opportunity, or some kind of reparation, the end of something, the closure of something. For some of you, it could have been a divorce, and it does feel like you're going to see movement with that. You know, you might need to be patient. I don't feel like this is going to be done in a hurry, but it's progress forwards, slow and steady, sure-footed progress forwards with this Knight of Pentacles. So the signs and symbolism I'm being drawn to very much so are the foliage. Flowers could be an important sign for you, going to a place that has a lot of nature, the vines in particular. I appreciate in the Northern Hemisphere, in the UK where I am, we're in the middle of winter, so there isn't much, there aren't many natural flowers out. There isn't much foliage out at the moment. But it feels like if there is a place that you go, or have been, there could be some kind of memory connected to this person and to a place outdoors that maybe you have shared memories of flowers or the beautiful foliage. I'm just seeing like a big park or just some sort of beautiful place, and really taking in the scenery. And just taking it in. I feel like the main message for you this week is just to take in what is going on. Yeah. We've got the Five of Swords there on the bottom of the deck. I'm going to clarify with some more tarot cards. This is the Radiant Wide Awake. Okay. Let's see what else. To clarify this, please. Any other messages, signs, symbols for the week ahead? What, I saw a glimpse of that as it spun over, and I don't like to speculate, but it almost looked like the Four of Wands in the reverse again. That's what we want. There, it was the Three of Wands in the reverse. So we've got the 2, 3 and 4 of Wands in the reverse. There is another message coming through there, which I will share with you. You could have been contemplating for a long time whether or not to stay in a situation or whether to move away from a situation. This could be connected to a specific person and just not knowing where you stand. There is a reluctance here with the Fool in the reverse and then the Queen of Wands in the reverse to, I'm getting this is in the past. You may have been really held back in terms of your approach to this person. This situation doesn't have to be romantic. It could be a friend, it could be a family member, some kind of close connection, but it also could relate to business, to opportunities, to putting yourself forward or forth for things, and almost feeling like for some reason you were unable to proceed. This feeling unable almost comes from a place within, feeling like there isn't a possibility to have a new beginning. I'm drawn to the white flower here that we have in the Fool's hand, and it's also here on this, I believe it's coat of arms, on the Two of Wands in the reverse. So white flowers could certainly be a symbol for you. We have the white dog as well. And of course the black cat. You could have very much come to a place of anxiety or not knowing exactly what it is that you need to do in this situation, which has just meant doing nothing. And almost this fear or this doubt, especially if there has been some kind of mistruths or dishonesty of any kind. This can always be dishonesty with self as well, not being honest with ourselves about how we feel. There is this sense of holding back, especially with this 2, 3 and 4 of Wands in the reverse. I almost feel like the Chariot and the Knight of Pentacles sees the future potential, but for some reason, you may have held yourself back. And I feel like what this is saying is this week you were presented with a choice. For some of you, you could have prevented an ending, which also prevented a new beginning. With the Four of Wands in the reverse, we could definitely speak of an ending of a committed relationship or a long-standing relationship with a friend or family member. But this reluctancy to take action, to trigger this ending, to close a chapter or a door of some kind, also prevents a new beginning from starting. But deep down, we have this Chariot energy. It's almost like victory wills out in the end. For some of you, there will be this decision made to walk away, and it could be from a job as well. If you've been there for a long time, I feel like there is just this emphasis of time being here. But again, that might not be for all of you. Some of you, you might then decide it is in fact time to walk away, or recognize that, yes, for some of you, it's walking away from things that just have now perhaps impacted your relationships with others. And deciding that it's time to really move forwards. I know this sounds strange, but I'm just being really drawn to the red cloaks here and this red panel here, and it's a flag, but perhaps red drapes, red curtains, maybe a really identifiable image in somebody's home or connecting to somebody that you know, but that's most definitely coming through. Let's see what other signs, symbols and messages we get, and I'll do some charms as well. I'm getting old letters here. I'm getting old letters from this Chariot card, which is quite bizarre, but there might be old letters, things that you go back and read. I suppose that could be text messages, but it feels older than that. There is this, okay, so for some of you, you could find some, or could have found some really old kind of letters that maybe held some unexpected news. For some of you, that could be really shocking. For some of you, it could be life-changing. For some of you, it could have been positive. But for some of you, that there definitely is a connection of some kind of letter here between the Chariot and the Knight of Pentacles. It could come as a bit of a shock, but certainly I feel like it's only going to benefit you in the long run. Yeah, there's definitely some sort of official document. But it could shock you initially. But I feel like, you know, somewhere this Seven of Pentacles with the Knight of Pentacles is definitely this feeling of things working out. Things are working out here with the Sun card. You are on a path that is leading you towards happiness and fulfillment, and that should certainly be our goal. And sometimes that can take us to have to be really truthful and honest with ourselves about what it is that perhaps is making us unhappy, whether it's habits that we have, maybe it's quite literally addiction for some of us that have impacted these relationships, and then deciding that now is the time to take action, now is the time to do something about this, and joining or finding some sort of support in order to move forwards. But definitely on the path of happiness. Flowers, red drapes, particularly white flowers. I'm getting the red drapes, a place in nature, memories connected to nature, maybe through late summer and autumn when everything is starting to turn. We have the sunflower with the Queen of Wands as well, the black cat, the white dog. I think that's really what's coming through. And obviously we have so many wands in reverse here, which is really, really interesting. So it almost feels like, you know, connecting back to this tiger's eye, as I said in the very beginning, finding that confidence, finding that power, finding that will where perhaps it has been lacking before. You know, finding passion once again. So I will do some charms to get some more specific symbols and messages and images that might assist you with confirmation of certain things for this week ahead. So if there's something, you could use this moment as well to ask for something in particular, a particular sign or symbol to come through. Just think of something, maybe a bird, maybe a, I don't know, anything at all that you will know, and you can take that as your confirmation. This can be a little noisy though, so if you've got headphones on or sensitive hearing, I would maybe just say take them off just for a moment. Okay. So we've got my favourite button here. I'm going to try and get this on camera. There is the most, you can't really see it, there is the most beautiful design on this button, but you can only see it in certain light. And I like to think of this as a reminder that there is beauty in all things, and sometimes it's hidden beneath the surface. Sometimes we forget. Sometimes we have to really look for it, but this is looking for the truth, the beauty, the important things beneath the surface of how this immediate situation looks. With the bulldog clip here, yes, there's definitely this feeling of hanging on to something, and it feels like hanging on to it to its ends. You know, you could have really felt like it was time to move away for something for a long time, but you've been holding on. For others of you, this could be a sign that, you know, it is time to hold on, and to have conversations to try and make things work, but it will be different for all of you. We've got this little tiny sort of construction worker's boot here. It's like a little Timberland boot. For some of you, with this Eight of Cups, I'm getting the song, these boots are made for walking. So for some of you, it really could be a decision to walk away, and it ties in with all this gold and yellow energy, the tiger's eye, the solar plexus chakra, feeling empowered, self-empowerment. We've got the playing cards here. So yes, you really could be wanting to take a chance on something, or maybe after a period of feeling really restrained, or like you couldn't, you're going to suddenly feel like it's, you know, be bold and make the first move. Maybe it is time to take a chance on something, time to reach out to somebody. I've got this little black piece of black tourmaline here. Could be very beneficial for you to work with black tourmaline, but also just understanding that it purifies, clears, and removes negative energy. That is what it's famous for. So that could be really beneficial for you in terms of assisting you with moving forwards, with making decisions and gaining that clarity and being honest with self, and you know, listening to your own voice feels like the message. We've got this beautiful piece of black stone. Again, interesting, 2 pieces of black stone have come out. This is a different piece of black stone from a beach, but I am getting again that maybe I'm actually being really drawn to the holes on this piece, and just getting the message and feeling like you may have really worn yourself out lately, and maybe it's time to really reconnect with self. And yeah, I'm getting a real sensation in my throat chakra. So being honest with yourself, taking the time, allowing yourself the quiet time in order to reconnect with yourself, to listen to yourself and see what it is that's wanting to be shared with you in terms of inner wisdom from within. We have the orange here, which is speaking to me of sobriety, but also health consciousness. There could be a desire to focus on health, or a desire to focus on health. It also reminds me of the solar cross and the sun. So again, another reference to the sun, working with the seasons of the energy, taking this time through the winter, maybe when things are quiet, to really reflect on what it is that you want. We've got the peace symbol here, and I think probably ultimately that's what we all want. It's finding that sense of inner peace, because that ripples and radiates outwards into our world. So you could feel drawn to meditate, or perhaps again just find that quiet space for reflection, perhaps out in nature, that makes you feel better, that makes you feel calm and at peace. And then we have the 4-leaf clover, which again symbolizes this luck energy with being bold and make the first move. We've got the cards here. If it feels right to you, you know, trust and believe in your luck. Even when things don't work out for us sometimes, that could be good luck that we just don't recognize. You know, good luck can come in the shape of divine protection, of sort of keeping us away from certain things. So, you know, don't hold yourself back from doing the things that you want to do, but have that firm belief that everything is on its divine path, and everything is working out. I think if one belief we can develop on and carry within us, everything is working out, everything will work out for me. And just keep making that slow, steady progress forwards. Sure-footed, as I said, with the Knight of Pentacles here, and it will grow, it will manifest. Okay, pile number 1, I'm going to leave this here for you, but thank you so much for spending your time with me. I hope you enjoyed this reading. It was my absolute pleasure. As a reminder, personal readings are available, but just sending you all my love, and I'll see you in another reading. Take care. Bye-bye. Hi there, pile number 2. If you were drawn to these cards and this is your reading, so we're going to be looking at signs, symbols and messages for your week ahead. As a reminder, this is a collective reading. If you would like a personal reading, those are available only via my links below. And if you ever get approached by somebody in your messages on WhatsApp or whatever it is in the comments asking for readings, it's most likely a scammer, so please keep yourself safe. Okay, you were called to the carnelian today, which is one of my stones that connect most to passion. This one connects to me to both the root and the sacral chakras, helping us to find that inner foundation, releasing fears and anxieties and moving forwards with passion and intensity. So we're going to do these cards and then we'll do some tarot, and let's see what comes through for you. A new start is coming. And then we have this card here, which very much connects to the death card. We have what looks like the Grim Reaper here, and a procession led by a religious figure at the front. Now, I'm going to see what the back says, actually. Death, yes, I thought so. This feels obviously not like a physical death, of course. I don't see the tarot in that way. I see this as a new beginning. We do have the new moon coming up this week, so this is exciting. So if you're watching this at the time this video is aired, or regardless of whether you're watching it in the future, the forthcoming new moon in the next cycle, whenever it relates to when you're watching, could be a massive opportunity for rebirth for you. There could have been a lot of endings, a lot falling away, a lot leaving your life almost, and then now we find ourselves in this place where a new, sorry for wobbling the camera, a new opportunity can happen. It's like you had to clear the way, you had to clear the old out of the way in order to have the new. You cannot grab at anything if your hands are full, you know. Sometimes we have to let go in order to receive once again with open hands. It feels very, very much like that kind of energy. So whether it's this week or in the time leading up to the next full moon, if you're watching this later down the line, this reading later down the line, this coming chapter is something new for you, and it is exciting. It does feel promising. It feels like something that you have wanted with the carnelian crystal I intuitively chose. But let's get some more cards for you. This is the Radiant Wise Spirit Tarot. And I'm just looking at the symbolism on this card. Drums and books, people holding books, particularly a very official person that carries around papers, or a book could be important to you. So there could be some sort of news coming from somebody who like carries around papers or a book, or that might be important for you. But I'm also getting with this drummer, it's almost ushering in this new beginning, heralding this new beginning. It's what's the word I'm searching for? It's like announcing its arrival. It's rhythmic. It's, you know, drumming is rhythmic. It's, you might feel absolutely exhausted and drained, as is the figure of death on this card looking. But there is this steady procession and things moving forwards and things changing. And it's just asking you to trust and believe in that. I've got the Seven of Swords in reverse. Okay, we'll take that. I'll get the bottom of the deck as well. Yeah. We've got the Four of Pentacles in the reverse on the bottom of the deck. Let me flip that card over again then. Hopefully you can see all of these. I will clarify with some other cards as well. Lots of swords. Now, swords aren't an everyday thing. Swords aren't an everyday thing that people have around. Sorry, I need to bring this message through before anything else. Swords aren't an everyday object most people have in their homes. I certainly don't have a sword in my house. However, the symbology of the sword can be found in everyday things. Now, I'm being specifically shown a sword tattoo, and I don't even think that's a sword, though. It's like the caduceus, except that's not a sword, it's a staff with two snakes around it. I don't believe it's a sword, unless there's a medical symbology. It feels connected to the medical profession. So a sword with snakes wrapped around it. But those are examples of, well, there are the two specific images that I'm seeing of where you might see this sword symbology that would have added meaning for you in your life. Okay. There could have been a real reluctancy here to move away from something, to really close a chapter. And it was like there wasn't really a plan put in place. With the Seven of Swords and the Page of Swords in the reverse, they can speak of planning, of strategy. With both of them in the reverse, it was like, I don't feel like there was a plan here, or much of a plan. There was this kind of, perhaps there were some tower moments in your life, and it feels like you feel like the wheel didn't turn in your favour, and perhaps it triggered these forced endings, closure of some kind that maybe you didn't want or weren't prepared for in some way, and that was extremely painful and challenging for you. It triggered this period of rest with the Four of Swords. But what we see here is there is some sort of this, it's like rest and renewal. This Six of Cups is one of my favourite cards in the entire tarot. It covers so many different meanings. It can speak of a returning love or returning friend, a reconnection or reconciliation of some kind. It can also speak of past life, awakening, of a sense of destiny, of giving and receiving of gifts. So there is this sense here of, despite all of this, no matter how bleak it may have felt for you, that good is coming from it. And I feel like this week is the turning point where you begin to see, rest is definitely indicated, but I feel like this new start, or around the forthcoming new moon, at whatever time you're watching this, take a note of the date of the next new moon. Take a note of how you feel leading up to that new moon. And I feel like there is going to be some sort of awakening, realization, reconnection with something that really matters to you. It could be somebody. But I'm getting the sense that you might almost feel like it's too good to be true with this Queen of Wands in the reverse. Interestingly, she came out in the reverse for pile number 1 as well. And there are some similarities in the themes of this energy. I wouldn't say that they are the same reading at all. However, if you were very strongly drawn to pile 1 and 2 and struggling to choose between, if that was you, then maybe go back and watch pile number 1 as well. The orange here connects me very strongly to the sacral chakra. And again, I've just spotted the snake on the Wheel of Fortune. So the sword and the snake is symbols or images that you might see that are messages or confirmation or synchronicities, just a reminder that, everything is unfolding, that you're not alone. The sacral chakra very much connects us with this orange to our passion, to that creativity, that sacred sexual energy that is also creative energy. What matters to you? What's driving you? There's this feeling here, it almost feels like you've lost your anchor a little bit. And I feel like what you're finding, you're going to find something else, but it comes from within you that's really going to help you. Like an anchor, something that's going to help you to stay grounded, or to reconcile with a plan that you previously had, that for some reason you walked away from. That was the message coming through for some of you that went before all of you. Maybe you had a plan or an intention to do something and that you couldn't do it for whatever reason. We've got a card that's the wrong way around here. It was the Eight of Wands. Maybe, yes, there was something that you really had planned out, intended to do, and for whatever reason, it just didn't come to be. It didn't come to pass, and that caused a lot of pain, a lot of stress, a lot of heartache. And it feels like in the past, you know, you may have been fighting what you see now as the wrong battles. There could be battles within yourself. You could have been really stuck in a process of holding on, whereas now you're coming to this point of surrender and letting go, not trying to control the things that you cannot control, and just being in quite a peaceful and reflective space. And that would be perhaps good advice, especially with this upcoming new moon, because this new start is definitely on the cards. This it's a reconciliation with something, and it could be something within that begins this new start. But definitely a sword tattoo, somebody in the medical profession, snakes, again, white flowers. That's another connection with pile number 1. Head in the clouds as well. You might have been dealing with somebody with a head in the clouds, or you might have been told that you always have your head in the clouds, and so you kept yourself small or shrunk down your dreams, and now it's like you're actually realizing that that wasn't the case at all. Something shifts within you and you reclaim that power and that passion in order to move forwards. They were really reluctant to come out. Got the Queen of Cups in the reverse, the Sun. Again, the Sun in the upright came out for pile number 1. The Two of Wands in the reverse came out for pile number 1. Strength in the reverse. And the King of Swords. Okay. This unexpected turn of events. I'm going to get the bottom of the deck as well. The Star. I love it. Okay. There could have been multiple unexpected turns of events, things that you didn't see coming, things that you didn't want to happen. There could have been, you know, a loss of some kind that you didn't want to happen. You could have lost something. It could have been something that you really and truly cared about, with the Six of Swords being clarified by the Queen of Cups. Something that, if having given the choice, it wouldn't have gone that way from your perspective. You wouldn't have either ended the relationship, or it's somebody that maybe was taken suddenly. Unfortunately, you might be grieving for that. It just feels like it wasn't in your control, and it left you with a lot of pain and heartache. But what I can see here is just taking this time. If you feel like things have been stagnant, we go through these times of almost spiritual, metaphysical metamorphosis, which can be equated to the Death card. This time of rest will rebirth you into positive energy. This new moon could well find situations that become a catalyst. You could meet somebody or just have the realization, because we've got the King of Swords here clarifying this Six of Cups. This definitely speaks to me of some kind of recommitment to an idea, especially with the Star on the bottom of the deck. And it says here, phew, I knew it was going to work out. I feel like some of you just need to hear that and just say to yourself, you know, this is going to work out. You might not feel like there is a plan to be able to make these decisions at the moment, because there could have been some very unexpected twists of fate with this, and with the Strength card in the reverse, you could feel really beaten down right now, or at the point now where you're sort of gradually coming back to life, back to into this new form. And it's important to remember that once we've been through these hugely transformational times in our life, you know, we almost go into a cocoon. When a caterpillar goes into the cocoon, it completely breaks down to come back as a butterfly or as a moth. I think the moth gets a bad rap as well. I mean, I'm not the biggest fans, but they still undergo the exact same process. And I feel like that should be honoured more, because they are equally as incredible, beautiful. And that's probably another message in there for some of you. It's like you still despite all the work that you've done, perhaps don't feel worthy. And you are. So you don't, this is almost saying it's like time to stop beating yourself down. There is going to be a new beginning, a time where you can reconnect with this past vision, definitely know in your mind what it is that you want to do and that you're going to do it. And it comes after a period where you've probably felt very different to that. So my biggest advice, I suppose, would be to be gentle with yourself as this transformation occurs. I've got this, the Queen of Cups here, you know, this might be a phrase that maybe somebody you knew used, like don't cry over spilt milk. I know it's a very, very common phrase. It was just what I came through when I looked at this Queen of Cups spilling her wine. Any other signs, symbols, or messages? The sword is just seems to be the most prevalent message here. So, you know, like I said at the beginning of the reading, it's not the most common thing to see a person with a sword. So maybe a sword tattoo, or a connection to the medical profession, or the caduceus, some other sword symbology somewhere. That also connects me to, you know, like the sword of truth, of justice, to the god Tyr, and in the Nordic pantheon, and just knowing what is right. And I also just got the sword of Damocles for some of you. So if you've felt for a long time that you've just had something swinging over your head, you know, waiting for that other boot to drop, you know, take this time to restore, to recover, and to bring yourself back to your good space, you know, and keep in mind these dreams, because it feels like you were at the end of something and the beginning of something brand new. And I don't think you even see this new beginning, this good stuff coming in, because it feels like it's not just one thing that's gone wrong. It feels like multiple turns of the wheel that have, you almost feel let down. And it's not that this was a test of your faith or your resolve, but like this week, I think you're going to get some clarity, especially with the King of Swords. You're going to get some clarity. Look at it in an objective way. Look at it from the emotional perspective, looking at your dreams and what it would mean to you. But allow yourself to dream. And then allow yourself to use the logic to think, well, actually, or just be bloody minded. Like, no, I will do this. I can do this. And make that your mantra. Make that your affirmation. With time, this is going to shift really, really positively. But you have either on this coming, whenever you're watching this, the next new moon is going to be a really beautiful catalyst point for you, where I feel like you're going to get a really unexpected blessing or inner awakening and reconnection with something, a dream or some kind of vision from your past. Okay, I'm going to do some charms for you. These can be quite noisy, so if you're wearing headphones, I might suggest just taking them off. Let the couple come out. I love this one. This is literally about finding the peace within your heart. That can be really hard, especially if you've been grieving, if you've suffered, if you've experienced loss after loss. But this is, and I've got the little heartbreak thing, and I know this is half of a best friends thing, but I only have one half, which again reminds me of this separation, or loss or grief potentially. This is a definite reminder that with time, we don't necessarily completely ever get over something and be the same as we were before that thing happened. But with time and love and patience with ourselves and the willingness to heal and allowing ourselves to have a healing process, we can come back to self in a new vision, in a new form, stronger, bigger, and more beautiful, despite what's happened. It's because of what's happened that's helped us to become that way. And sometimes that is all part of the plan, even when it doesn't look or feel like it's in our benefit. The little lightning bolt here, that could be another symbol for you this week. Also reminds me of a flash of inspiration. So for some of you, lightning, storms, again, weathering the storms, but I feel like it could be a flash of inspiration. If you felt really bonded or chained to something, to someone, this feels like... Okay, so what I'm getting here is if there is somebody from the past that you've had to let go, there is something that you can do is called cutting cords and cutting ties. Now, we can feel very, very bound to people and almost chained to them in some way. This could be an opportunity to research cutting cords. It's something that you can do yourself with assistance using guided meditations. And there are those available for free on YouTube. It's also a service you can reach out to for others. It's something that you can do yourself with intention. We can, release somebody from our energy, from past experiences we've held with them. And that can really help with moving forwards from difficult experiences, difficult shared experiences or challenges in relationships without, it's on an energetic level. So for some of you, that needed to be said. That might help you. We have the Wunyo room, which is happiness, it's bliss, it's blessings, it's the good things in life and feeling the good things in life. So I'm really happy to see that. And I don't know whether you saw, but you had 2 4-leaf clovers on top of each other. And again, I said this to pile number 1. It feels like luck is on your side, but sometimes we have to remember that luck comes through in the form of being protected from things that weren't for us, from actually having our path blocked from certain people or situations or things. Sometimes that is exactly what is intended to keep us on our path, and we don't see it at the time. The way the wheel of fortune turns, and we can just think it's not in our favor. But with time and hindsight, because hindsight's a beautiful thing, we realize that actually everything was working out. This 4-leaf clover has a heart on it, so that could symbolize love as well. So that's another symbol. I think the fact that that's come out twice is saying to me that could be another symbol for some of you. If you see a shamrock, or there's a connection to Ireland, or the 4-leaf clover of some kind, that could be another one for you. We have the star again, so wishes, dreams, it's that energy of wish upon a star. Maybe set yourself a goal. So I don't know why I said that. Set yourself a goal for this new moon. Set yourself something that you want to achieve. In my mind, what I was thinking was, make a wish. Make a wish and an intention for the new moon. But I said set a goal. So for some of you, it could be to really set yourself a goal. We have dream big here. So again, with that star energy, dream bigger than where you were. Sometimes we can only dream as big as we allow ourselves, and our limitations are what tell us that we can't go any farther or dream any bigger. Sometimes our path has to be cleared completely in order for us to move forwards in a new direction. We've got the musical note here. So maybe for some of you, music is important, maybe the study of music, reconnecting with playing a musical instrument. But again, this could be another symbol, and I'm getting another tattoo, perhaps on another person, that might be of significance or importance to you. We've got this little magic tree here. So for some of you, maybe there is something to do with a car, a memory connecting to magic trees that holds relevance for you. But again, somebody offering you one, that would be, perhaps, I'm trying to think of ways. I don't want to be the person that says how the symbol could appear in your life, but a magic tree could definitely be one. And the orange, again, this came out in pile number 1. And I'm getting a really different meaning from it now. This is about enjoying the fruits of your labor, seeing the juiciness of what it is that you've achieved through this work that you've been doing, through all that you've overcome. So Again, this is about not doubting yourself and giving yourself that space and that freedom to have a new beginning now. So set those intentions with this new moon, whenever the new moon comes for you next, whether it's this week at the time this reading is shared or in the future. Work with this new moon energy, make a wish, reconnect with those past dreams, because it feels like whatever's cleared from your life, it's cleared a path in a new direction that could very much connect to an old dream. And this week, I feel like you're really going to get that moment of clarity or inspiration that's going to assist you. So pile number 2, I will leave this here, but as a reminder, personal readings are available. All my information is below. Thank you for being here. Just sending you all my love, and I will see you in another reading. Take care. Hi there. If you were drawn to pile number 3 and these cards, then this is your reading. You were called to the selenite today. That's totally not focusing on the camera. Apologies. Selenite is really good for clearing energy, for cleansing energy, and working with the moon as well. As a reminder, this is a collective reading, and personal readings are available via the information in the description box below. Please be mindful of scammers, people that try to get you on other apps, WhatsApp, whatever it is. I will never reach out to you and DM you for a reading, so please be careful. Okay. So we have a personal issue reaches conclusion, and we have the library. However, this library reminds me very, very much of like a courthouse as well. So there could be some sort of legal matter, professional matter, some sort of issue of some kind that is coming to a conclusion this week for you. Definitely feeling a big shift forwards, definitely feeling a big clearing of energy. So this could be a really positive and beneficial week of tying up some loose ends. And, you know, with the books here, it's like that chapter closing. Like whatever this was, libraries are keepers of great wisdom. They're the records of everything that we've ever experienced. But as I shared on Instagram a little while ago, sometimes in order to write a new chapter, we do literally have to be willing to call the old chapter done. We have to call it finished. We have to be willing to draw a line, close the page, and start afresh on the next one. So it feels like there is definitely that drawing a line, closing the page, and writing a brand new chapter when whatever this is concludes this week. I'm actually going to use these beautiful dragon cards for you. Now, if I remember, this is, I think it's the Smoke, Ash and Embers. Let me check for you because I don't want to get that wrong, because I know yes, Smoke, Ash and Embers. I have both. The creator of this deck is absolutely wonderful. Three Trees Tower, I believe it is. And she's just lovely. And the artwork on the cards I just love. So we'll be looking for any different symbols and symbolism as well that can assist. And I might just have to change the lighting on the camera, but we'll just get the cards out first and see. The Queen of Wands. Interestingly, she's been out in all piles today, but this is the only one where she's been upright. That flipped. I will honour the fact that it flipped. And the King of Wands in the reverse. Okay. Interesting. Lovers. And the Three of Cups. And I'm going to take Justice as well. Now I'm getting quite a specific message for somebody. Or it could be, you know, multiple people within the collective would be drawn to this pile, that would be drawn to this message. For some of you, there could have been a lot of conflict around a situation that is now reaching a conclusion. For some of you, this could be a separation, or it could in fact be a divorce. And there could have needed to be some sort of formal closure in a situation. It could have been quite, could have been ongoing for quite a long time. But with the Lovers here, the Three of Cups and Justice, it almost feels like, I don't want to say as soon as this is done, if this is like leaving a relationship, you know, it's not ideal to, this is my personal opinion, so please take this with a grain of salt, but you know, to leave one and then go straight to another. However, that's not the message I'm getting. With the Lovers and the Three of Cups, it almost feels like there is this chapter from the past closing, and it could be a divorce settlement, it could be a final decree of some kind, just, it could just represent the closure that you needed, because it doesn't necessarily have to be romantic, it could just be any situation. But I am getting, for many of you, it could be to do with relationships. There was almost a sense of, I want to say, receiving closure on your situation, the past situation. We've got this clear sort of division here of the threes, and this is like the old and this is the new. What you're walking away from is suddenly having realized who you were with this Queen of Wands, knowing your power, your strength, your passion, your values, and realizing that you have options and you have choices. Perhaps you have multiple different paths. It doesn't have to be romantic relationships, it could be work. Perhaps you suddenly realized that you were holding something together, and actually you would amass so many skills that you now had many more choices and many more options. We've got white flowers again, and through all the piles, white flowers have felt like the thing. We have white butterflies here as well. I believe white flowers in the tarot are a symbol of like a promise. It almost to me speaks of hope, of new beginnings. We've got the little frogs and the toadstools down here. Those could also be symbols for you. I'm getting like proper cottagecore vibes from those. There is definitely this past situation, and it could have involved somebody else who kind of took you for granted, didn't necessarily maximize the potential of whatever the situation was by being their best self. It's not to say this is a bad person. It could just be that the passion waned. It could have been anything. And it was just like, there is this clear division of assets for some of you. Could have been a business that needed to be split. Or, you know, a home and assets. But it feels like this is what's reaching conclusion. Or if it was a separation or a decision to move on to a new business or something of that nature, it closes this period of conflict with this Five of Wands. I'm being drawn to the Page of Swords underneath, so it's almost like this period of conflict is coming to an end, and with it is bringing in this new energy of being allowed to make plans, being allowed to make decisions about what it is that potentially you want to do, the direction you want to travel in. With the Lovers, the division of the old chapter into the new chapter is we have the Lovers, the Three of Cups and Justice. This is making some sort of decision with the Lovers, as it can represent, or literally meeting a new lover, a new romantic partner. That is going to be a cause for celebration. I'm sensing almost like a sense of surprise at this as well. You know, these white butterflies symbolize rebirth energy to me. And, you know, this King of Wands from the past, he's almost looking over at these lovers, and it could be difficult for them. But it feels like you're going to have the realization this week that ultimately you did the right thing. I think with the Justice card coming here, you could seek counsel with friends. You could have conversations. This news might be quite unexpected. Perhaps there has been some sort of delay in signing items or official documentation, and all of a sudden that comes through. And then it's almost like this sobering kind of justice where it's what you wanted and you know it was the right thing to do. but it does come with a sense of heaviness. So you've got the balance here of knowing it was the right thing to do, but also maybe feeling the weight of having had to do that. Because doing the right thing often does carry a weight with it because of the Five of Wands, because of the number of people involved, all of the different opinions and thoughts. But ultimately, it is a cause for celebration. There is a sense of triumph here, but it's a quiet inner triumph. But this justice balanced with it, it does mean that this beginning of this beautiful new chapter get some more cards for you. And again, as I said, the Lovers can symbolize a decision being made. So you could have perhaps two opportunities coming forth for you, or a new opportunity in a new direction, and you have to make a decision. Whatever happens, whatever the situation, it feels like something new is going to come into your life at the closing of this past chapter. And it does feel like there's some sort of official, like, you know how a big heavy book sounds as it slams? It's like that noise, and then a really deep breath, and this flood of new energy coming into your life. So you really could feel the sense of rebirth, of reawakening. But with it, you know, allow yourself that you could be, I'm just really called to the concern on this dragon's face. I mean, I know he's speaking down to these frogs, but there could be this somber kind of an energy, even at these beautiful new beginnings. And it's just a reminder that it's okay to process how you see fit. It's okay to be happy and jubilant and celebrate in one moment, and then feel the weight of, you know, of loss or grief, because grief can hit us in all different circumstances in life. You know, so just take those emotions as they come. I'm going to have a look and see if there's any more symbols. I think butterflies are definitely going to be a symbol to look out for. Again, either real butterflies or butterfly tattoos, perhaps. Butterfly symbology somewhere. I'm getting butterfly wallpaper, perhaps, for one of you, for some of you. Definitely an opportunity or an invitation to go to some sort of party or celebration with this Three of Cups. And yeah, like I said, like proper cottagecore vibes here. Let's get some more cards. That Three of Pentacles. Okay, we'll take them all. You got the Lovers in the upright again. The Eight of Swords. Yeah, this new beginning could trigger some sort of anxiety because of situations from the past. You might not entirely trust the new coming in, and I think that's the energy that I'm picking up here, like I said, with being happy and celebrant in one moment, and then all of a sudden being like, oh, but what if? With these sorts of situations, what we have to do is take stock of our past circumstances, take stock of what we've learnt, perhaps take note of anywhere where we maybe missed a sign, or dropped a boundary, or didn't act when we needed to. And recognise that whatever we've been through in our life, if we're willing to be aware of how we may have assisted or enabled or contributed to the situation, which takes a lot of personal reflection and willingness to be true to ourselves, it can give us the freedom and the awareness to not make the same decisions, and builds that trust in ourselves that, okay, so somebody new's coming into our life, I know what to look for, I recognize those signs, and knowing that you're not going to settle for less than what it is that you're worth. So there could be a sense of anxiety surrounding this new beginning, but it's a reminder to yourself that what you have been through has been your learning process and your healing process. So you can make different decisions moving forwards. Hence the Seven of Cups coming out too. Yeah, whatever this closing chapter has really given you the ability to see yourself in your power and find that gentle feminine strength within, the ability to withstand, long periods where perhaps you haven't seen things moving in the direction that you wanted, but you've persisted and kept going because you knew ultimately this would work out, or you had to do this, or it would be worth it in the end. It's giving you the opportunity to rebuild with this Three of Pentacles. So you could definitely find yourself, this past chapter, nothing is ever a mistake. It's all an opportunity to help us learn and grow. Depending on the different theologies that you look at and the different mythologies or spiritual trains of thoughts that you look into, some believe that we do have a soul path, that we do have a fated, woven destiny. I like to think that it's a mix of having destined events that we have to choose how to negotiate and overcome. So we can have repeating themes and lessons, but it feels like what you've overcome is a really, really big one. And this week is literally like that. All it is, if you've got a really big, heavy book at home, I mean, obviously not if it's really valuable or old, but just a really big, heavy book, just slam it shut. Hear that noise. If you can visualize it, if you can find somebody doing it on, I don't know, TikTok or something. I don't know if there's a page for that kind of a thing, but hearing that sound, that is how this chapter closes. It could be unexpectedly quick this week after a long period where you've just kind of been waiting and going through a lot of processes. But then it feels like all of a sudden, whether this is an inner shift and this closure is just coming from within, and it's your realization that actually you do not need to live that way or feel bound by this past circumstances, the past relationship, the past employment, or the job role, or whatever it was, you then free yourself into this beautiful new beginning. And you've got the Four of Swords on the bottom of the deck, so the message there is definitely to take the time that you need to process this, especially with this Justice card. Other people around you may be like, oh, come on, go, we'll meet this person, we'll do these things. Honor yourself and how you feel. And that can change in any given moment. So just go with the flow. So in terms of symbology and messages that may come through, definitely butterflies, specifically white butterflies, but not exclusively. We have a little mouse here that I really keep being drawn to. Now, that could speak of, like hibernation and being quiet as a church mouse is the message that's coming through. The pomegranates, again, this could relate to, I always equate pomegranates more with winter solstice and with the wheel of the year, with Christmas even. So there could be something from around that time, but the pomegranates, we have the tiny crescent moon here. So that's relevant to the upcoming new moon. Any other signs and symbols? The flags, so looking for red flags, and there could be a hypervigilance in looking for red flags because of the past. Trust your discernment, and do reach out to friends if in doubt. I'm getting as well, but there might be some friends that you feel you can't reach out to in that way. But I feel like this is a reminder that you are in a better position to spot things that you didn't see in the past, but we have to be sort of willing to embark upon something new through this transformation with these butterflies, in order to try. Not everything's going to be the same from the past, but this week is going to be a definite point of closure for you. And I think that's the simplest way to put it. There is something big coming to conclusion or closure. So I'm going to do some charms for you. These can be a little bit noisy as I deal them out. So if you have headphones on, it might be worthwhile to take them off just for a moment or just to turn down. Okay. Okay. So we've got this little bee here. This could very much be focused on work. This is a reminder to look at the bigger picture of what it is that you're building. Not everything is hopeless. There is sometimes great periods of our life where we are investing an awful lot of energy. Where you look at the cathedrals of the past, the castles of the past, sometimes they took hundreds of years to build. And I'm not saying that what you're doing is going to take 100 years, but it's a reminder that the work you're doing now will all pay off. It will all pay off. It's never in vain, even if you don't see all of the result for it right now. This reminds me of the kind of defences they had on the beach in World War II. Now, I know that this is Jack, but to me, it's a similar kind of energy from the symbolism from what it shows me. It's that kind of reactive, just keeping yourself away from anything that might be a trigger. Now, I know that's not entirely possible all the time, and actually, if there is a known trigger, something that may specifically not be good for you, I would try and steer away from that, or from people who would perhaps try and push you down a certain path for their own ends. We've got this very crumpled piece of waste metal here. This is a reminder that I just said waste metal. It's not waste metal at all. This can be reused and put into any form. It can be reforged into something brand new. This is how we are through our journeys. You know, we have the ability to be reborn, to find new qualities and strengths within, and just come out the other side of these experiences changed, but for the better. And sometimes it feels like for the worse, but with time, it will most often be for the better. With the dice here, it landed on the number 3, so the number 3 could be relevant for you. The dice itself can speak of taking a chance. Trying your luck, more specifically, is the message that's coming through with something new. Or maybe somebody's going to try their luck with you with these Lovers cards here. The message that I'm getting off this ringed planet here is to remember just how big this universe is, to reconnect with your higher self, and to remember just the extreme vastness of everything that there is around you. With this and the dream big, I definitely feel it's an energy of like setting your sights higher. So I just keep getting Vivian Westwood for some of you, probably because of the symbology of this, but for some of you, just that might be relevant. Definitely focus on your dreams. Try and put any anxious energy in and switch that energy. Honor how you're feeling, but try and switch that energy. Instead of feeling disempowered, this sense of closure is enabling you to go into a new direction now. And as intimidating as that can be, it can also be really, really exciting. This could be the making of you at this time. We have the Star, so definitely dream big, focus on your dreams, focus on your inspiration, your aspirations, and what it is that you want to do, which directions you want to travel in, where do you want to go. Don't sell yourself short. This whole thing that you've been through to close this chapter, whether it was a job, whether it was a business, whether it was romantic, is because there's a bigger dream here. There is something different, something more to be had. And I think you're going to find that missing puzzle piece. I feel like this could relate to these lovers, although, you know, I'm very wary of saying things like that because I don't think that we need anybody else to complete us. But you could meet somebody that fits like a part of the puzzle. It's also recognizing our past experiences are all part of that puzzle as well. and this beautiful golden sun. I love this, and I've said this before. If you've seen the show American Gods, this reminds me very, very much of um, Mad Sweeney, the character Mad Sweeney's magical golden coin. So there, I think that brought him eternal life, or the person who held it. Yeah, it's very, very interesting. Why that's coming through, I don't know, but it feels like reconnecting with a deeper part of yourself, and also looking at that bigger picture, looking at that higher perspective, looking at the ground you've already covered, how far you've already come. You know, even if you need to take a rest with this Four of Swords, use that time when you feel ready to visualize, to dream. Allow yourself to almost daydream on how good life can be. Because if you think about it, when we're anxious, those anxious thoughts are us daydreaming or using our imagination to think about how bad life can be more often than not. So now could be a really positive time to focus on how good life could be, and to truly and genuinely believe that. Okay, pile number 3, I'm going to leave this here for you. I really hoped you enjoyed this reading. As a reminder, personal readings are available, but thank you for spending your time with me. I hope this had relevant messages for you, and just sending you all my love. I'll see you in another reading. Take care. Bye.